Hi there, this is your friend Anna, and the question that I've been getting the most from all of my friends is, what are we wearing? This age-old question isn't just about choosing an outfit, it's about choosing how we present ourselves to the world. I created the I Want Her Shoes podcast to dive deep into what it means to dress with intention, whether you're heading to a council meeting or just having a casual day out with your family. Join the conversation as we explore the power of personal style and the decisions that shape our public personas. Put on your favorite pair of shoes and step into my closet. Welcome back to the I Want Her Shoes podcast, where we spotlight powerhouse women rewriting what it means to shine, rebuild, and rise in style. I'm your host, Anna Anisin, and today's episode is what happens when the perfect life unravels and you choose to rebuild it from really within. My guest is Ida Spritzer, a woman whose story reads like a spiritual memoir, really. She met her soulmate at 16, married young, and lived the dream as a boutique owner, fashion buyer, and mom of two. But when she lost her husband to cancer at just 35, everything changed. And from widowhood to addiction to spiritual awakening, Ida turned her pain into purpose, building a new life rooted in energy healing, meditation, and deep soul-centered reinvention, which is beautiful. And today she's the founder of Inner Divinity Attraction, a certified Reiki and integrated energy therapy master, and the author of Inner Divinity Attraction, Becoming Unstoppable with Ease, Grace, and Flow. I love that. And in this episode, we're going to talk about how to reclaim your light after loss, how fashion connects to spiritual identity, and why your next act might just be your most powerful one yet, right?
Yes.
It's amazing to have you here, Ida, and welcome.
Thank you.
And let's begin from the very beginning. You built a dream life early on, husband, kids, fashion boutique, which most women dream of building. When that chapter came to heartbreaking close, what was the first step forward toward rediscovering your identity?
I think it's a great question. However, my story started way beyond that.
So let's go way beyond back then. Where did you grow up? Where did you meet your husband? How did you meet?
Yeah, we have a great story. It's all in the book. However, I've always worked somehow with the universe. I've always worked in alignment where everything I want, I just manifest. I always thought it was like a miracle type of gift. I didn't have words for it, but I remember being very young, starting in sales and working in fashion, and I loved it. I learned right then and there to have a love for fashion and respect for it as well. I remember seeing these wonderful young women coming in, and they were buyers and they were designers, and they designed this store was called Bang Bangs, and I must have been around 15, and I just loved the energy. I realized then that we all have a frequency. And there was something about them. And they were the buyers, their title, their design. And I went home and I said, God, that's what I want to be.
I love that.
I want to be a buyer.
Yes.
Not knowing that because I was dyslexic, ADD, I wasn't able to didn't know the nuances of how to get that. However,
you didn't know then, right?
No,
But then you figured it out, right?
But I said I wanted, I prayed for it. And guess what? I met my husband, who was young. He had a boutique. My mother said, oh, I want you to come over here and get a job here in this boutique. I wasn't interested, but I ended up working with him, and I figured, if I'm here, let me help him out, because my resume back then was really good. I learned to sell at a very high level because I worked on 57th Street, and in Lexington for Cerise, and we worked on commission, so I basically knew. You had a credit card, I knew how to sell because it was authentic. I love seeing beautiful things, beautiful clothes on people, and I was as honest as can be. And that's when it all started, that I knew I had a power within myself, because I ended up marrying him. We were dating within 3 months, and I saw visions, and I started to tap into my intuition and opening up to a whole different world. Yes, and then pivoting and moving forward, we party like it was 1999.
Love that. Cheers to that. Yay.
Oh, yeah. And that's when it all started in the 80s. I probably didn't answer that question, but I wanted to take you back there because
I saw that, and that's kind of where you saw your power of like intuition,
yeah.
right?
And then navigating through, we went through partying hard in all the right clubs, doing all the right drugs at the time, and loving every part of it. However, it took a brunt of mine. That wasn't me.
Right.
And then as we continue, I learned, and I go deep within myself because I always knew how to meditate. Again, having an innate ability to do that, I managed, and God took it out of my life from one day to the other. And we'll leave that one to the book because it was strong stuff. And then the world, I just have to say, I knew before how we found out that he got cancer. I felt it the night before, and my whole world just, I would like to say collapsed. And then the journey began.
Yeah. Well, that's very powerful, and thank you for sharing that. Yeah. And I just want to say congratulations for getting through that. And
thank you.
Making that part of your journey, right? Not the end of the journey. Because I feel like a lot of people can't move forward and kind of, live their life. So I think that's very powerful that you were able to get through that.
Thank you.
Make such a big difference afterwards,
Yeah, it's a journey. We look at the destination, but it's definitely the journey, embracing every moment.
Right? Yeah, because nobody really knows what the destination is, right?
I know, it's perfect.
Yeah,
I'm
manifesting it, right? You're making your own destination.
That's the key.
Mm-hmm.
That's the key that people don't realize.
So let's talk about then going back to that question I asked in the beginning. What was the first step to rediscover your identity? Was that going even deeper into meditation? Because I'm sure after, actually going through not only the whole cancer experience, but then the loss of it, I'm sure it was not easy.
I think.
And you guys had kids at the time as well, right?
Mm-hmm. We had Courtney and Brittany. And along the way through that journey, I learned to tap into something greater in this world. I read, and I mastered the arts of quantum, and I kept always evolving. When that day came and the realization that my husband was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer at I was 33 and he was 35. I knew. I saw it the day before. I told him something's coming. That whole transition took 2.5 years to keep him going and alive, and it was an amazing experience. What I've learned was to embrace every moment in the day, every day. And 2 things, I could have given to fear,
right,
or I could have wrapped around my arms and let it show me what I was supposed to learn.
Right.
And my superpowers, which we all have, came in. I took the gear, I shifted that stick, because I would love to tell you that car was automatic, but it was a stick shift
right,
that I had to learn to navigate. But yeah, that was the story.
Well, congratulations.
Yeah, and then, you wake up and then you go deeper. And as I did, I pivoted.
Right.
My angels, my God told me I couldn't go back to our business, even though we had, like at that time, 6-5 boutiques. It was a family business. His mom also was involved, but it was him and I.
Mm-hmm.
It was us. And I just knew there was more. And I want more. I decided to take time to be with my kids. I helped a little girl that lived in the building. I was taking care of her, and I learned to really feel. And those, I didn't have words to that. I have more pain than people could see.
Right.
And I just had these different people in me. The one that had to be perfect and show strength, the one that had it all together, and then the one that just wanted to break and become the victim.
Well, it's really hard,
I became a juggler, and I knew, and there was no community.
Yeah. And that's even harder if you don't have a community.
There was no community. There was my family who, I always seemed to have it all together. But I was slowly kind of drifting. I would never say that D word I was learning who I was. I was learning to learn who Ida. I was introduced to Ida.
Yeah, and by yourself, right? Like,
Yeah,
yes, because you've been with your husband since you were so young. So now you had to find yourself, right?
I remember when I hit my 30s, I was crying on my birthday. My husband goes, "Why are you crying?" I said, "I spent my 20s with you."
Oh my God.
He goes, there was never a dull moment. But again, it's like these things as women or as even men, we go through.
Mm-hmm.
And we keep it all here.
Yeah. No, we really do.
I pivoted.
No, you did. And let's talk about the Inner Divinity Attraction.
Inner Divinity Attraction just came, it was always in me. This book was supposed to come out then. Did it have another name? Yes, it was totally different. And I wasn't done. Because as I pivoted, I went into the art world.
Oh, that's cool. So let's talk a little bit about that. The art world, that's my favorite too, next to fashion,
It was fashion, it was art, and I sat at Christie's, Sotheby's. I opened my own art gallery. It was corporate art, which is Courtney and Brittany, but I did corporate
love that.
art.
That's so cute.
Yeah, and I design walls for commercial properties. I lived a beautiful life in Manhattan. I was
Sex in the City.
Yes, I was in
girl.
everybody's guest list. I was everywhere, and I had a very beautiful clientele. And I created that. I didn't go to school for that. I just meditated in stillness, knowing that my next step will be even better. Because I put always something better. So that's the key where I now teach people, and I guide them, I coach them, very successful in that field for the last 15 years. But yeah, I've been dormant. I haven't really, until Courtney let, as she would say, the cat out of the hat.
I love her for that. Yay. Well, then let's now talk about the book. And can you explain to folks what it is and how it came to be? I mean, you said that it should have been written back then, right?
Back then, because I was always aligned with purpose. Purpose and living our full potential takes many forms and many shapes.
Mm-hmm.
They jump depending on the identity or reality we take on.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time, that's the identity. I was an art dealer, published an art a book for one of my best clients, which I love, and my best friend, Wendy Henderman, named Tribes, that now is selling the collection. And I say that because that has such a spiritual meaning to me and her, because it's how this world and humanity has been torn. And people, and about 15 years ago, when I manifested my second husband, I went into the energy world. And to me, everything just shifts. If you're in sales, you could sell anything. Everything just, it's like a chameleon. It just shapes, changes its form. And that's how Inner Divinity came out about 2023. And it was a gift that I did for my daughter. It was a meditation box with the 5 elements. She said, Mom, she said, you're not done. She came to my work station where I meditate, and she said, Mom, you can't be done. The world needs you. Look what you've done. You look what you do for so many people. And that's when I said, what's wrong? She looked at me. There's got to be something wrong when you're telling me. I gotta go back to work.
Yes.
Honey, I have everything. You're making me work. And that's when she said, yeah, she wants to sell her company and, in business, energy. And I must have went on, I call it autopilot, where I put everything, I heard her clearly. And I put all these beautiful elements into, and I curated a meditation box that it was just lovely, childlike faith. Took it to her, my other daughter, put the 7 minutes on, and there was no words to describe how she felt, and said, thank you, this is absolutely beautiful. Selling hundreds later. But in the midst of all that, I want to share with you, Anna, that I was still trying to navigate my space. What does the universe want from me? Why am I coming out? And I found out that working in my own small curated box, something more awakened in me. So was that a gift from me to my daughter, or was that a gift from my daughter to me?
Both.
Yeah. And that's when I remember having my cocktails, more than I can handle at the time. Everything just left me to bring me back. All my journals came back out. Everything I knew, everything aligned with purpose. All my chakras, the universe, the stars, like everything open.
Yeah, that happens. That's beautiful.
Yeah, and it's a true remarkable story. And everything shifted. And here we are.
And here we are today.
And your beautiful closet surrounded. I can't wait to try them all on.
It's an honor to have you.
Honored to be here.
And you went from fashion world to the healing world. And how does style and spirituality intersect for you now? Because you're still so stylish, but as you said, it's such a different vibe.
I think we're all an angelic being having a physical encounter here. We're all energy. Our frequency is our currency, I like to say.
I love that.
Yeah,
that's beautiful.
And that's
great.
Mother, yeah. And where I take me with what I've learned and how I align myself, it just shifts, and you could just take that energy everywhere. It shows in my cooking. It shows in everything. We can awaken that. It's not like I have it alone. No, we all possess that. I like to say I believe in a power greater than myself, and the love that we were created from, it's in us.
Of course.
And when we really tap into it, it shows all around us. We vibrate it all around us. So yeah, Courtney has a saying, everybody loves my mom.
Because, you love yourself and you have really good energy.
That's the key. That's the key.
So how do we go about, for example, to do this in our everyday life? Like, how can we start if we've never really tapped into that deeply inside ourselves?
Okay,
before?
well, the meditation box has tools.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, so let's talk about that. What are some of the tools that people can use?
I like to say, in my last podcast I did, one of the greatest tools we are born with. Without it, we can't live. It's breath.
Right.
The breath, as we breathe, calibrates us, brings us back to oneness. And when we sit in stillness, the whole world surrenders.
I love that. That's
Yeah.
true. Yeah.
If you want to move
really hard,
around
though.
it, yeah.
It's hard to sit in stillness, though, let me tell you.
It's
You know what
not,
I mean?
teach that, but I'm going to tell you.
Probably
something.
takes some practice. So, yeah, let's talk about some of those tips, how to actually sit there in stillness while you have little kids running around and, work.
Oh my
and
God, I did it with
all
them
those
too.
things,
It happens. I remember Courtney being young and Brittany saying, hey, mommy, do I know how to swim? I go, yeah. She goes, Mom, I almost drowned. But you didn't.
That's right.
We got her back out and now she learned to swim. So it's trusting the universe, trusting yourself, trusting that there's a higher power greater than ourselves. And what does that look like? I like to share that here right now. When we sit and honor the God within us, honor our breath, that's it. We're meditating. Say, people say, well, I pray. Well, prayer is when we're talking to our highest power. Silence, meditation is when we're listening. We can't listen.
That's a very good,
How can
way
we
to
listen?
explain it, for sure.
So if we're listening and tapping in, knowing how to tap in, but we can be hard. I get people, I don't know how to meditate.
It's natural, though. I feel like it's part of kind of human. Everybody knows how. You just maybe not, you just haven't been taught like the right way to do it.
Right. But and we have to quiet our minds.
Yeah.
And then when you go into the neuroscience of it, you learn more and more. And then God gives us, or the universe, how to help others.
Yeah.
That's
beautiful.
where I am today. It's aligning, working inside a beautiful closet with beautiful shoes, because to me is very symbolic, because I am stepping out. I am coming out.
Honey.
So to be here is a beautiful,
really great
place.
energy.
Yes, you have great energy.
So do you.
Yes.
Hey, cheers to that.
Cheers again. Thank you.
Yeah, I almost see prayer as like almost manifestation. You know what I mean? So, like, that's what it is. Literally, because if you're praying, you're pretty much asking or kind of manifesting. It just depends, like, I'm not religious. I'm more spiritual.
I'm not religious. However, I did study the theology. I was born in. And you say, but then I felt I was in namaste, no respect, not out there. I felt there was more for me.
Right.
I like
That's
the
how I feel
quantum
too.
energy.
But
But
with the, just more of like with it, because I feel like it's within your, pretty much.
Yeah, but there is a difference. I teach mindset, meditation, manifestation. It's the perfect.
I love that, like, little triangle.
A little triangle. And when you know that, there is a difference. In mindfulness, we journal, we use repetitions of different things, mirror work. In meditation, we go in with breath and silence and probably mantras, depending.
Right.
But you learn to tap in. Manifestation. This is where I see everything is manifestation, but true manifestation, as I know it, that it shows up in my everyday, it's faith.
Right. Yeah.
Faith.
Well, that's going back to prayer and all
Faith.
of those things. Yeah.
If somebody promised me, if this almighty whatever God in faith, I can move every mountain. I could do anything I want because I have the faith that everything will come into fruition.
That's true. Yeah.
And that's where we can, how will you say that? We're so impatient.
I mean, that's the society kind of that created, right? Just like,
I want it now.
yesterday, no.
With those kids in the chocolate factory.
Pretty
I want
much.
it now.
I mean, yeah, it's hard, and you have to really watch out with your kids and like really teach them patience.
Yeah, patience is an art. If we master that, we master everything, because in manifestation, we don't have the time to breathe because we don't have the time to wait.
Right?
As you see, I waited how many years? And I feel better than ever. And I have all the knowledge in the world that I feel I can move forward with authenticity. And I don't hear the noises outside telling me it's done this way or that way. I just know what's worked for me and for my daughters.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, I hope that everybody gets to that point.
Oh,
Yes,
we
you know.
will.
We will.
As a whole,
Make
we
a
can.
better world, right?
Yeah, that's my goal.
I love that goal. And what do you say to women who feel like their life was on track until it wasn't? Because I feel like a lot of, people feel like they're either not on track or they're in like a transitional moment. You know what I mean? Like, how do we, if we don't really have that grounding? Like, what are some little things that we can do?
I think, first of all, knowing where we are, how we feel, knowing what you don't like, what you do like, knowing your emotions.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I see people in repetition of the same chaos.
Yes, so do I. They just kind of do the same patterns. That's when I back away from them. Like,
yeah, and that's the neuroscience to understand about it, that the way the brain works and the dopamine, the serotonin, is that some of us go off on anxiety. Some of us but chaos, they love that adrenaline.
Yeah.
They used to, that's the identity. But for women who are in business and are not, I would say not to abandon themselves.
That's really, I think that's great advice. Yeah, because I feel like that's what happens. Because then you're kind of the last person on the list.
Yeah, we start to chisel away because we want to start. Now that everybody is starting their own business, and everybody can, because the universe has an abundance of wealth. And there's enough for everyone.
More, honey.
Yeah, that's the key, honey. I want more. But when us women, or men, because I get a lot of men, but women in this space right now, learn to put yourself first. I wake up early to sit with my God.
Right.
I call him mine because I know how I honor myself. The God within me. Could be me within me. Layers in there.
Yeah.
But yes, that's how we do it. We give space, take a breath, and make sure your magnetic field. And that's a whole different topic, but make sure you know who can step in, who you give permission to step in, always giving yourself permission. That's where we forget. We have to give ourselves permission to rise. We have to give ourselves permission to receive. It's almost like playing Simon Says.
I love it. Yes. I mean, but it's hard. People forget that because they just don't. Yeah. I think receiving is hard for people, right? Like,
I love to receive.
Not for us. Oh my God, honey.
Receiving it.
Well, let's go back to a fashion moment. How has your personal style evolved since your spiritual awakening? Is it more, subtle, or
I would say
even coming to Miami from New York too?
I would say I'm a trendsetter. I'm not a person that goes crazy with style. People know me. I create styles. Right before my husband got ill, I was opening my own clothing line. and I was working with big fashion houses. And I just love clothes. And my clients trust me to pick out, and I became a buyer. So that made me
There,
even
you
more.
got your goal. One of the manifestation right there happened.
And I just love it. So has it done? No, I've been the same. My style, it's an innate ability that has been with me.
It's just you, yeah.
It's
I love
just
that.
who I am.
That's beautiful. And that's just how it should be.
And we have these amazing superpowers. And that's why they always show us superheroes. But that's all within us. So I remember reading that somehow along the way. And I always loved that. And the attraction is when we are in alignment, we attract everything we desire.
That's true.
So the divine is the light within us. And the attraction is everything we attract with the light that's burning in us and through us.
That's so beautiful. I love that.
Yeah. I love that too.
Well, let's do this cool little this or that.
Yeah, I love
Edition.
this or that.
Yay. Flowy kaftan or tailored power suit.
I love a tailored power suit.
Yes, I could see you in that.
I love a good tailor, especially being in the artwork.
Oh, yes. Sacred altar or capsule wardrobe.
A sacred altar.
Oh, yes. Oh, my gosh, honey. Meditation before bed or first thing in the morning or both?
I would say early in the morning
Agreed.
and both, and every minute of every second. But I capture when we are in that theta state is when you want to align.
Yes, agreed. I like the morning as well. Essential oils or statement perfume?
I would say I wear my statement perfume.
So do I. I. Luxury handbag or luxury healing session? Or both. Yeah.
I love a great bag, but there's nothing like with a good healing session. You'll master many bags.
Bags, yes, honey, I love that. Live energy event or a quiet one-on-one healing?
What was that?
Like live energy event, like, you know, when they have the breathing events and
I am
things.
going for that one now. I want to take a whole and
like,
just embrace them
really
because I'm there now. I love my one-on-ones. I have so many of those, but now there's more of me.
I love that. Bright lip or bold intention?
I would say I learned to not put lipstick on because I feel so, I don't know, so bright intention.
Hey, I think you have a bold intention and you would look great with a bright lip too if you were going to go there. But again, journaling or silent walk in nature or both?
Both, but I own 20 acres.
Wow.
I have a lot of space and I love grounding.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Ida, thank you so much for bringing your presence, power, and poetic spirit to the I Want Her Shoes community. You remind us that it's not about what we've lost, it's about what we choose to remember, and that our healing isn't a retreat from life. It's an invitation to re-enter with clarity, alignment, and of course, grace. To every woman listening, if you're navigating a season of loss, reinvention, or soul searching, this episode is your reminder that the light you're looking for has been within you all along. Mm-hmm. And may you remember your essence, rediscover your power, and dress like the woman your spirit's been calling forward all along, just like Ida. Well, cheers.
I love that.
So much fun having you on. Cheers.
Oh, come on. Love.
Thank you so much.
How fun was it?
This is so much fun. Oh my God, I love
it.
Do you like it?
I love it. I love your concept. I love everything about it.
Well, now what I'm going to ask you is pick a pair of shoes here that best represents you, and then we're going to take a little photo with it.
Okay. Oh my God, let's see. Oh my God, it's so... But this is definitely a good one. Because I remember back in my day...
You like that? Yes, those are fun.
Those are so... I sold $100 million pieces with that shoe.
Yes.
And it's that peekaboo toe that is just perfect. But let's see.
Look around. We got it all.
I know.
What's your favorite color?
I like, if
Do you
you
like
notice,
pinks
I
too?
like
Or like
nude. I look
nude?
good in reds. I love black. Oh my God, you have so much wonderful stuff. I love that one.
Isn't that cute too? Yeah.
Yeah, and there's the leopard I love.
I know, you have to see I'm wearing one of my leopard ones.
I love everything.
And I love how we're matching. Oh my God.
Yeah,
This is so, I didn't even think, I kind of knew you're going to bring some leopard energy.
Let's see.
Oh my God, I could see you in those. Oh my God, that actually goes with your outfit.
Yeah,
Oh,
I know I have these. That's why. This one, I'm telling you, I made so much money.
All right, these is going to be these?
Yeah.
Yes. All right, well, let's take a photo.